right? It's like the band Ministry after the Bush administration was over.
Hey, you be cool about Ministry.
Today's episode is brought to you by Friday, come on down to Luigi's to kick off Heavy Metal Weekend.
Oh yeah!
Starting with $3 Wells and Longhorns from Hell, our very own Pantera tribute band, Cemetery Gates, Domination, the Depeche Mode Pantera mashup cover band, and coming back from their gig near South by Southwest, it's Saturday. Ladies and free, show up in a t-shirt from our neighbors, Uncle Junior's Barbecue, and imagine you're in Mexico with $6 fish bowls before 8. Starting at 9, if you missed Friday, it's Longhorns from Hell! In their second day of their 7-week residency with special guest AAA, also known as Alcohol and Ass, the Hell Yeah Experience. Sunday, special day in memoriam to the greatest drummer in our lives, Vinnie Paul. He has left us to go to the big jam in the sky, and us the Luigis are honoring his memory by free tacos from 10 till noon at the Cricket Parking Lot next door. But the radio station will be broadcasting and giving away nosebleed concert tickets all day. But the fun doesn't stop when the sun goes down because our in-house DJ will be spinning all night upon request. This Friday, don't forget, Luigi's Heavy Metal Weekend.
No thanks to you.
Before we get to anything, I just gotta bring this all up because I can.
You never hit a mentally ill person with his dead mother's severed leg. It's a real trigger.
Then trigger warning, bitch.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more.
You don't know how...
Honestly, Psalm 59 is like the only album that I worship.
No. Okay, really, like, I'm an old school Rivethead, man. I like, when it comes to industrial, that's my shit. KMFDM, Ministry, Thrill Kill Cult, that's my shit.
Yeah, I'm a Rivethead.
And so when it comes to Ministry, I know everything about Ministry. You know what I mean? Like, I've met him before. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Yeah, I've seen Ministry twice, right? First time I saw them... Yeah. First time I saw Ministry was in 03 when Animosity came out. And it was okay.
Mind you, it was the beginning of the end of good stuff.
But why?
It was a callback to the original 3 albums,
But still better than Dark Side of the Spoon.
which we'll get into that later.
Get on with it.
The other time I saw them was in 2008, and it was their last show on their last tour.
And the reason why it was their last tour, supposedly, was that it was the final part of the Bush trilogy.
We recently saw a video talking about songs that did not age well.
They bring up all this fucking poser shit.
All in the Family was a product of its time. I'm not saying Axl loves controversy. This song is not as cherished as much in today's age for being seen as transphobic by many. When this song can be described as incel rock, that's Keith Richards. Good thing they acknowledged the issue and they changed the lyrics to concerts now. Wildly offensive, and it was nominated for Song of the Year at the Grammys. Awkward. When boomers get mad at the younger generation with the whole back in my day music was actually good, all of Ted Nugent's material has aged poorly in my opinion.
Nigga, please.
The Bush trilogy has not aged well. Literally, 3. Not 3 songs, 3 fucking albums of the same fucking shit.
I get it, you hate George W. Bush, you live in Texas, and you really, really want to show your anti-authoritarianism.
Whatever.
Then they put out a compilation of all their covers. They didn't resurface until the Obama administration, where it was kind of flip-flopping.
That's when we stopped listening to Ministry.
Shut up and get to the point.
I'll get to the point here, okay? So, if you listen to the Ministry's first 2 albums, that's just basically Pet Shop Boys. It's hard to believe, huh? Then when they released Land of the Rape and Honey, that's when they started to get heavy and crazy.
I know it's been like, I know I'm old. I know I'm 46 years old now, so I was probably, goddamn, I was probably 17, 18.
You were younger than that. You were younger than that, dude. You're only 2 years older than me, so you're probably like 15.
Goddamn, we're old, dude.
Land of the Rape and Honey came out in '88. Mind a Terrible Thing, The Taste came out in '90. Psalm 69 came out in 91. Those are 3 good albums. And then 4 years later, after Psalm 69, they released an album called Filth, and it was very disappointing.
Filth would take 4 years to follow Psalm 69. In that time frame, 9 Inch Nails released The Downward Spiral, Marilyn Manson, Tool, and White Zombie would take over, and many 9 Inch Nails wannabe bands would flood the market. People were thinking, well, if Ministry is taking so long, then the next album is probably going to be the biggest thing ever, especially with all this stuff coming out in the meantime. Well, in 1996, the wait was finally over. Just look at that artwork. The colors make it stick out, and there's the trademark Ministry humor. It's time for the high-energy macho sounds as expected from Ministry.
It took me a decade to appreciate it, but I found out why I appreciate it.
Behind the scenes, Al Jorgensen was dealing with depression and a nasty heroin addiction.
Come on! Alan Paul stayed in a bordello in Austin for 4 years on heroin with Gibby Hayes of Buttle Surfers.
You know, like thousands of the people that came before me that are descendants of me who had originally been here.
Came before you. Oh, my mistake. Go ahead.
You want me to do it or? I mean, there were thousands of people. And on down the line to where there were worms. And there were flatworms. And Chinese men that were tied to walls would show worm movies out of their penises.
No fucking way!
Yes way!
You're making this shit up.
I'm not making it up. They went all psychedelic. They did a bunch of fucking like heroin and acid in a bordello in Austin for fucking 3 years.
Just the 2 of them, or was it the whole band?
Well, Ministry just 2 guys. When they play live, they're all hired gun. It's Alan Paul.
Both of them go, or?
Yeah. They hung out with Gibby Hayes of Buttle Surfers. They did heroin and acid and mushrooms in a bordello in Austin for fucking like 3 years. And that's been
4 years.
Oh, 4 years. Sorry, 4 years. And you can understand for being a Ministry fan, you know what I mean? You're listening to like 3 awesome fucking like, in my opinion, the most perfect albums. Are those 3?
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. Let me stop you for a second.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to wrap my brain. Whew. I'm still trying to wrap my brain
on
being in a bordello for 4 years on acid.
And heroin.
Oh my god.
The extreme always seems to make an impression.
4 years. You know how long I was locked up? I was locked up for 4 years, dude. I was locked up 4 years in a bordello with acid and heroin. See, meth should have been the other one. Yeah, if you're fucking hanging out with him for 4 years, you're gonna have every fucking drug known to man. Experimenting with some shit. What?
Yes, and that is why the album. And that's why.
Can you imagine the ecstasy that these guys took? Because they're fucking rock and roll superstars, dude. They can fucking get whatever they want.
Yeah.
You got people coming to them.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, dude, I just can't with this new fucking drug. Try it. I want you to fucking make it big. You know?
Yeah.
Imagine.
So that's why.
Oh my God,
and that's.
be a rock star, so fucking.
And that is why Filth was such a different album than the other 3. And you know what got me to appreciate it? When I stayed in an S&M dungeon for a week.
Set where?
I stayed in a BDSM dungeon for 2 weeks. And it was all naked chicks every day.
That's fucking awesome.
And I was banging the main dominatrix too, so that was a plus. It gets better. So when I was staying in the dungeon for 2 weeks, right? I now get Filth Pig.
Then the follow-up album was called Dark Side of the Spoon.
Because he was coming off drugs, and it just shows.
One problem was that Al had a difficult time coming up with lyrics to some of the songs. Another problem was many of these songs were slow, and they didn't want to put out another slow record. So the album was started over. Only 2 songs, Nursing Home and Cape, were kept and refined.
All in all, I love Ministry. They're like one of my most favorite bands of all time. But to me, they've only had 3 just perfect albums.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
I'd go into detail, but you know, I'm just basically just trolling all of you anyway. So, whatever. I'd say special thanks to people, but I gotta go on Sub Pals and YT Pals just to try to get 100 views on here because the algorithm could suck. Coming soon. Oh, I'm doing a deep, insane, deep dive into the entire lore of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Because if you didn't know this, back in 2012, I tried to start a disaster area tribute band.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy notes that the disaster area, the Plutonian rock band, the GOTH Mine Zones, is generally held to be not only the loudest rock band in the galaxy, but in fact the loudest noise of any kind at all. Oh yeah!
I almost have a full collection of Star Wars Legacy, you know, from Dark Horse Comics, you know, when Star Wars comics were good. And my favorite character, Cade Skywalker. I even got the heart, you know, I just need 2 more to add to my collection, and I'll have the whole set to do my review on. I'll do it by individual, you know, trade book. I also got the Predator Omnibus by Dark Horse Comics, because fuck Disney, fuck Marvel. That lore's badass. They actually gave the lore to Predator, you know, in Dark Horse Comics. I also got Axe Cop and a bunch of other things, so stay tuned on that shit.
Plus the fucking message is bomb.com.
Chaos is a ladder.
Shout out to our patrons, in order of importance, the ShadowVessel, the Fly Attractor, Janitor Jake, Count Morivond, Gary Mossberg, and of course Ryan Zacher. If you have any opinions on what I'm saying, like and comment. Just say some shit in the comments. I need more hate mail anyway, because apparently the only way I actually get views is when I piss people off, because this algorithm